Hey, I'm Jamie Roberts, licensed marriage and family therapist, founder of Equilibrium Counseling Services, and I am here today with Claire Craddick, one of our associate marriage and family therapists, to talk about her new blog post. But first, Claire's a new member of our team, and I just want to do a quick introduction. So, Claire, who are you?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm an associate marriage and family therapist. I've been at Equilibrium for a couple months now. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and right now I'm working with teens and families. I really enjoy that. I've been in the field for a few years now, and yeah, I found my home at Equilibrium. It's really nice. So
Yeah, we're happy to have you. And so I think like especially with your work with teens, I think your recent blog post is like super relevant, right? Because what is it? Tackling your inner bully with self-compassion. So while we want to keep a little bit of it a secret so people can go to the blog and read it,
yeah.
tell us a little bit about that inner bully and how self-compassion interacts with that.
Yeah, so what I like about self-compassion is whether you're 3 years old or 103, you need it. It improves the quality of life. So of course, I love it with teens because we're introducing them at a younger age and they can practice it for much longer than if you're 103 years old. But it goes hand in hand with therapy and hand in hand with life. When we start going to therapy, it can be really challenging. Emotions come up that are difficult and hard. We're talking about tough stuff. And that inner critic, that inner bully often comes out and wants to say things like, you should be better now. You should be fixed. I can't believe you have to go to therapy, if there's that stigma that you have or might have grown up with. So using self-compassion, learning the resources and tools to do that as you start therapy and, merging it in there with whatever else you're working on can really help the process be more enjoyable and, build up yourself in that way.
Yes. And I think there can be this misconception with self-compassion and self-care that it has to be this big thing that we do. It has to be a massage or a trip with a friend, but that self-compassion or self-care can be little things throughout the day. It can just be the tone of voice you use when you talk to yourself. It can just be refocusing on something different.
Yeah, one of the parts of it is self-kindness, and that's the part of treating yourself like a friend. And we can do this so easily. You think of you're talking to a friend and they're so tired, they're overworked, they're getting burnout, and you say like, hey, you should take a break. Why don't we just go grab lunch real quick just for an hour and get our mind off of things and take a break. But what we do to ourselves is, I can't take a break. I don't deserve it. I'm not done. This is too hard. Like, I have to finish this. And that self-care piece is listening to yourself and giving yourself what you would a friend. I need a break. Okay, it's okay to take a break for a small second. And that is self-care there, but really it's like you're saying, it's not too big. It's a simple thing you need. And the bigger piece of self-compassion is giving yourself permission to be kind.
Yeah.
And give yourself grace.
Love that. Where does the inner bully come from? Where did that part show up?
Yeah, so inner bully is a nicer way of saying inner critic. I think it's an analogy that sticks, especially with teens, a little bit better. But it comes from how we're raised. We develop it based off our community, off of society, off of our family values. And that's the first thing that kind of sticks with us. Sometimes it's that parental voice. Sometimes it's from social media. It's giving us expectations of what we're supposed to be. Sometimes families also do this thing, and I hear it a lot with clients, is that thinking about ourselves is selfish, or we're not allowed to, we're only supposed to give to others. And those are messages that we learn, we internalize them, and then that becomes our inner voice, our inner critic. So that's kind of where it comes from. We can spend a whole hour discussing on, the development of our inner critic. But
I like to tell people with that selfish piece that there's a difference between being selfish and putting yourself first.
Yes.
And you have to put yourself first in most situations. So you have the stamina and the tolerance and the resiliency to show up for others. Because if you let yourself drain, you don't have anything else to give. So putting yourself first in a situation doesn't mean you're being selfish or taking advantage of a situation.
Yeah, and self-compassion actually gives you the option to do that too. Sometimes you feel like I can't put myself first in this situation, and that's okay. Sometimes we can't. And
Mhm.
even when we make that decision, we're not shaming ourselves that we don't want to take care of ourselves or we don't want to put ourselves first. And that's okay too. So
Yes.
even when that's the case, you can have some kindness for the difficult situation and where you feel like you can't be first.
Absolutely. So then when you're working with clients, let's say you have a new teen client, are you assessing at the beginning what that inner voice sounds like? Is that something you're teaching at the beginning? Is it interspersed throughout like your therapy process?
Yeah, I think when I hear it is when we go towards it.
Mhm.
The first thing we all do to ourselves a lot is rush ourselves to want to be fixed. And I
Mhm.
hear the shoulds and the expectations. And then, asking the client, where does that come from? Do you actually align with that should, or is that somebody else's voice? Is this realistic? Can we say that a little kinder?
Yes.
You know, I hear you. I hear myself. I want to be done with this. It's uncomfortable. I wish I could run through it and get this over with fast.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm here. I'm okay. I got this. You
Mhm.
know,
Yes. So we hear it come up in kind of the pressures or the expectations we have on ourselves, which is often when a lot of us show up for therapy because those pressures or those expectations have us feeling low. And then you start teasing out, okay, is this mine? Is this someone else's? Did I acquire it? And kind of breaking down what value we still want to attribute to those parts.
yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you. It's an awesome piece. I really enjoyed reading it. So if anybody out there is experiencing like maybe you have an external bully, but then maybe like you've internalized those voices and now you say those things to yourself and you want some ideas on how to have compassion, how to kind of redirect those thoughts and be a little kinder. Um, this video will be on YouTube and we'll have the full article, the full blog on our website. And Claire is currently available for new clients, both in person and telehealth at our
Yeah.
Rancho location. Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Anything you want to add?
No, I'm just so glad that we're talking about this and introducing everyone to self-compassion. I know, it's one of those things where you hear it, and you're like, yeah, okay, I got it. Be nice to myself.
Mhm.
But it really is one of the basic things that we build our lives off of, just like the alphabet. We don't often think about it or how valuable it has been to us, but that's what we want self-compassion to be, is ingrained and, you know, something we work on. So
Yes, love it. Perfectly said. Well, thank you for today. And thank you, everyone out there watching. Please feel free to comment, like, share, and let us know what other topics you'd like to learn about.
great. Thanks,
Next
Jamie.
time.
Thanks, everyone.